like the smell of a cup of joe in the morning. Good,
Oh,
welcome back to the C Morning Show, everyone. We know that coffee is a big deal. It's a big deal here in Indonesia, but it's a huge deal out in the Netherlands. And most people there can't go through the day without a cup. In fact, according to a 2022 survey, 90% of Dutch respondents can't go without 1 to 6 cups of coffee per day.
Wow.
So I feel like I'm a novice here compared to
left
the Dutch.
behind, Paul.
I know, I thought I had a lot. I have 3 or 4.
But you bring a tumbler, like...
That's like 3 cups in
many
itself.
Okay, you halfway
It's bigger
there.
than this. It's bigger than what we have here.
Halfway there.
That's right.
So that brings us to our guest today, who has brought the flavors of Indonesian coffee to the streets of Amsterdam, introducing not just specialty coffee, but also attracting attention from locals.
Okay, so they're basically the Dutch are experts when it comes to coffee.
Really?
So I'm very interested to find out what it is that makes our coffee different than theirs, and to find out more about his journey and the challenges that he is facing or faced. We're joined in the studio this morning by Rinaldi Nurpratama. He is the founder of Hejo Indonesian Specialty Coffee. Good morning, Aldi. Happy
Good
Sunday.
morning, Paul. Hi.
Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, Aldi.
Thank you.
Finally,
Thank
you came to our studio.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Talking about coffee.
Real quick context. I go to his coffee shop quite a
Yes,
bit with my wife.
who
You
doesn't?
do too, right? And it's
Exactly.
quite
Thank
famous.
you.
So
Of
finally,
course.
glad to have you here. in the
Thank you very
studio.
much.
But this is something interesting because we're not talking about your coffee shop here, but your cafe became the first Indonesian coffee shop in the Netherlands. So tell us like how this happened, because we know that you have expanded your business to the United States first, a couple of years ago, and now to the Netherlands. Why?
So basically, first of all, I have a lot of families there.
Okay.
And then also I have, we thought about the relationship between the Netherlands and Indonesia is really good now.
Very close. Yeah.
It's very close. And then 2 years ago, actually, the king is, apologizing to us. And then
Yeah.
after that, all the youth there is actually searching about their roots in
Finding
Indonesia.
out more.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
So, and then after that, when we opened the cafe, they just came and then they were, okay, which part of Indonesia is your coffee from?
Right.
And then, oh, I have a family there. And then, all the responses is really good.
Really?
Wow.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
That in
Interesting,
case our
right?
viewers didn't know, I mean, it's not just our football players,
True.
but
Yeah.
many people in Indonesia or people in the Netherlands actually have
Connections.
roots. Yeah, like
Exactly.
if you look farther into their family
Yes,
histories, have
yeah.
some sort of roots that connect.
Of course.
Very
Even,
cool.
wow, it's very interesting because the king are apologizing, but it turns out the youth generations would like to know, like they dig deeper,
Yeah.
and they want to know the history and
Yes.
all the stories
Yeah.
about the country itself. And one of the things are coffee. So basically, you launched last April this
Yes,
year, right?
last April, yeah.
So what's your main mission, especially in opening a coffee
Okay.
coffee abroad?
Yeah.
This is not your first time, right?
No, this is not my first time.
Okay.
This is actually my second time.
Okay.
So the main mission is expanding and then bring all the knowledge of Indonesian coffee abroad. And then also, we have a very niche mission to do a sustainability in coffee.
Okay, how so?
So if a customer buys 10 cups of coffee, they already plant 1 trees back in Indonesia.
Very top.
Here in Indonesia.
Here in Indonesia. So, about this project, the youth actually is really, really excited to help us to contribute to a nicer world.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So they can do so just by drinking coffee.
Exactly.
And they
10
don't
cups
it's like
and then
passive
10
one
cups
plant.
and then 1 plant. Because usually you buy 10 cups, you get 1.
free coffee. That would be the
Right.
general, yeah.
But that is not a sustainable one, right?
Correct.
So
True.
if you plant 1 trees, you do good.
And where's the
Amazing.
tree planted? Is there an
So we
particular-
we already planted 1,000 trees in Garut.
Oh, wow.
Yep,
Is it
last.
coffee plantations?
No, actually, it's a reforestation area.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yep. So
better.
we partner up with Tanah Air Semesta from
Yes.
Garut, and then we plant 1,000 trees back in March. This
Oh,
March.
this
So it's
year.
already ongoing. and
It's
you've
already
planted 1,000
ongoing.
trees.
1,000 trees. So now the customer is adopting those trees.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So
it's
you can
become
belong. You can own a
sustainable.
tree.
It is.
Exactly.
It is.
So,
yeah.
10,000 cups of coffee, I'm doing the rough math, more because those are the
Yeah.
people that are just following
Yeah.
their 10 cups
Yeah.
redemption. Tell us what the difference is, and you could go by customer feedback for this as well. What makes our coffee different from the coffee that they're used to over there?
Okay, so basically, because we are a huge archipelago countries, so from Aceh to Papua, they have all different flavors, right?
Correct.
So if they want a bolder coffee, they will go to Sumatran coffee. If they wanted to have a more light and then flavor, they go usually to the West Java, Bali,
Okay,
and
yes.
stuff.
Right.
Yeah, so different regions make different flavors. So that's mostly what they're looking
The variety.
for. Yeah, the
what's,
variety.
What's
of
their what is the best sellers? Like what do they
For now,
lean
okay.
more towards?
Okay, for now we have a blend. We have a blend between Sumatra and then West Java and Flores.
Oh wow.
So
Yeah.
it's quite bold, but it's very flavory.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to espresso, when it comes to a cappuccino, its richness. Oh my goodness! Oh my God! I'm watering my mouth actually now.
very
That's
passionate about
legit.
coffee.
It makes him, okay, you are a coffee person. Even though you're just telling us,
Yeah.
you know how to
Very passionate.
imagine it.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
So how, do they realize about which coffee are coming from, like, or
Yeah,
they
the areas.
dig deeper, or how
Yeah.
are you promoting and attracting customers, especially while introducing the Indonesian coffee?
Yeah, basically, of course. Nowadays we have to use our social media, right?
Yeah.
Those are one, and then the other we often do like cuppings and then tastings, and then we hope next year we can bring all the farmers, at least 2 farmers, to the Netherlands, so they can explain
Like a
what they're doing.
showcase?
Yes.
Oh my.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Wow, that'd be so cool.
It's gonna be, yes,
Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
especially because they're so passionate about coffee over there. Obviously, there are plenty of cafes in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
You yourself here, I'm sure, face competition, but competition must be quite stiff over there as
Yes.
well.
Yep.
So, apart from competition, perhaps that might be one of the big challenges. But what other challenges have you faced opening this cafe?
The challenges now is that, okay, I'm gonna tell you something about Indonesian coffee. So the challenge for Indonesian coffee, one, is that the price. Our price is really high.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yep, our price is really high, but we talk about specialty coffee. Yeah?
Right.
So it's really high, and then usually all the people from, not all, I mean some people says that our beans is not consistent from one crop to other crop. So that is the challenge. That is also why I really wanted to open abroad, so that me as a coffee diplomat can tell the story is not if this crop is really not okay, you can tweak it in the roastery or you as a barista. Okay, if this tastes like this, tweak it like this. If it tastes like
Post harvest.
post harvest, yeah.
Really? I wasn't aware of that either.
Yeah.
There you go. Probably as a coffee drinker, I wouldn't have known that. Actually,
So basically, that's why it becomes coffee diplomacy.
right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of lessons.
Is it-
There's a lot of things to learn.
Well, one of the challenges I can imagine, and perhaps this has something to do with some inconsistency if they're importing from coffee beans from abroad, is logistically.
Logistic.
That's
Yes.
got to be very challenging as well. isn't
Yeah, also. But we work with this cooperative called Classic Bean. I believe Pa Eko is already here. I think last March.
Oh, here,
I think,
yeah, right.
and then he already shout out about Hejo project in Amsterdam.
Yes. Yes.
So their cooperative is, after we crop, and then we store it in a storage facility, and then they play this Sundanese music.
No way.
Yes, because green beans still has some water
It's
inside.
basically still alive
Yeah,
somewhat.
it's still alive. So when they put the music on, they believe that the
Really?
particle of the water.
Oh, still there.
Still
because
there?
They can hear
Yeah.
the ambience.
My mom
Yes.
believes this, by the way, about music and how
Yeah.
plants and crops react to it.
So basically, if you bought it like your hands, like you bring it by your own, and then you can talk
Sing to it. No, I'm an
Or
awful
just-
singer. It'll
you
probably
know,
die.
you don't feel alone then because coffee company
That's so cool.
literally,
That is so cool.
literally, right?
Yeah.
It's not like like not just a phrase, but basically they're
Coffee is my
alive.
friend.
Wow!
Very cool, very
Oh my
cool.
God, that is interesting.
That is interesting.
New
Yeah.
things to learn. Amazing. So, Aldi, since we know that coffee culture are
Yeah.
now so in trends
Yeah.
right now in Indonesia and also abroad, Netherlands,
Yeah.
as Paul mentioned, 1 to 6 cup of tea per day.
Coffee.
How do you see Indonesian coffee industry or positioning abroad?
Abroad. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. So we have to have more of Indonesian diaspora to open a coffee there, so that we can talk about our country, our
Yeah.
coffee process, our sustainability project, and stuff like that. And also we have a very good narration about agroforestry actually. So if you talk about climate change, you maybe hear some about on 2050.
Yeah.
We will have extinction of Arabica coffee.
Yeah. Yeah.
But because Indonesian is a very big agroforestry practices on coffee actually, so we might not be affected
As affected.
as other countries.
Right.
So, those kind of narrative that we need to promote more and more abroad.
Right.
So, and then after agroforestry, also reforestation, because we have this regulation from EU actually, the EUDR, European Union.
EUDR, yes.
Yes, deforestation regulation. But if we do all this agroforestry, we don't have to pushing in
Yeah.
for the
Yeah, you don't have to
EUDR.
worry so much about all these things.
Because you are following all the regulations.
All the regulation,
And then-
exactly.
And then
exactly.
the actions will follow.
Right.
Action will follow. Yeah, yeah.
And in fact, it might put us in a better position on the global
True.
market as
Yes.
well.
Yes.
Yes.
So you're much more of a coffee aficionado than us. In your opinion, and I don't know how you would rank this, where would you place Indonesia's coffee in comparison to some of the other countries
Okay.
around the world that are known also for their coffee?
Okay, so Indonesian coffee is up there, actually, and then we have a very different taste that every big companies in the whole world is dependent on our coffee actually.
Really?
Because if you do espresso, there's a crema on it,
Yes.
the bubbles.
Yeah.
So those crema is very specific from Indonesia. And then one of the biggest coffee company, if they don't have that crema, they don't have that distinct taste. Because why is those cremas really important? And why is our crema is the best in the world? Is because, our island is and our mountain is not really far from the ocean.
Right.
True.
So the circulation is really good. So that makes our coffee is different than the other countries.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Makes sense.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That would make perfect sense to me, and I wasn't aware that not all coffee beans create that little froth kind of
Yes.
at the top. That
Yeah.
I'm just so used to it here
Yeah.
that I didn't realize that not all. I take it for granted.
So it's
Yeah,
mattered
coffee.
for
It
people
is matters
outside.
because if you go to Amsterdam specifically, you go all around the specialty coffee places, the taste is quite similar one to another.
True.
Yeah.
Not bad, it's really great. But when you put Indonesian on the map there, it's really different.
It stands
because
out.
Yeah.
It stands
Sorry.
out. Yeah. I mean, you can see in our Google reviews.
Right, right.
Yeah.
It's different.
It's different.
It's
and
different.
it's so nice that they are taking that particular difference and they're embracing it as something that they
Yeah,
appreciate.
I like that. The positioning is really just right on the place, right?
perfect.
Okay, so Ali, you are talking about the regulations and you follow all the regulations. Hopefully that coffee diplomacy will get
Yeah.
better in the
Yeah.
future. But we believe that you cannot do it alone.
Of course.
Hejo
course.
cannot do it alone
Of
as
course.
well. So, do you have any project mapped or future plans
Okay.
with Hejo or for Indonesian coffee industry?
Yeah. So our next goal is to open much more Hejo coffee in all across the Europe and hopefully all across the globe. And then also do good practices in the farm. And then plant more trees so that we can be more green.
Amen.
And keep supporting local farmers, keep supporting local brands who go abroad. And then I'm always encouraging all of my friends to go abroad, because you can see different perspective.
It opens your eyes,
Exactly.
definitely. So.
You can see different perspective because even though all the markets is in Indonesia, but you have this diplomacy that you have to do on your own, because government cannot do all of this by.
For sure. It's like we are zooming out.
Yes.
We see it from the
Exactly.
top, and then we know, oh, that's the thing.
And we can just take notes and do things to improve things here in Indonesia as well.
Well,
You certainly make a great
There's a lot of things that I want to write it down, basically. Too bad I don't bring my notes.
By the way, I wish you had a
use
program
this.
like that here in Indonesia, where
Yes.
I would much rather get help plant a tree than get another free cup of coffee.
Yes, exactly.
We can
Are you
also-
implementing it in your own in Indonesia?
Not yet, because
Hopefully soon.
Yeah, hopefully soon, and then hopefully the market can understand that better in the
of
next
course.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Amazing.
Adi, thank you so much for
Thank
your
you for-
time.
Yes.
It's
Thank
a
you.
great pleasure to finally meet the man
Thank you.
behind all this coffee that I've been drinking a couple of
Thank
times
you.
a week.
Amazing.
Thank you. But your coffee is really great.
Whoa.
This
Thank
one.
you to our
Yeah.
production staff.
Good
There's no
job.
Thank you.
no froth on top of
Good
this.
job.
Not bad at all. Good job, Drew.
Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much.
Good luck.
Thank you very
for the
much
things that you said.
for inviting me.
Amazing.
Thank you.
And we will have another break, and
Yes.
we're going to finish this coffee, and we'll come back with some local updates from around Southeast Asia. Stay tuned on C Morning Show, only on See Today.